Hi, my name is Ron. I'm from the Faux School in Frederick, Maryland. Today I'm going to show you a real quick, simple, easy way to paint American oak. So let's get our tools, let's get our materials, and let's get started. So the first thing I've done to prepare for this American oak wood grain technique is I've base coated the surface using an acrylic eggshell enamel paint. Acrylic cleans up with soap and water. It's not latex because it's made with acrylic resin. Acrylic resin is a much harder, more durable finish, much smoother to the touch. That's a whole different story, but acrylic is what I'm going to start using, and in this case I'm actually using Sherwin-Williams Duration eggshell. Eggshell is the level of sheen, flat eggshell, satin, semi-gloss, gloss, high gloss. Rolled it using a 3/8 inch nap roller, 3/8, very small nap. I don't want a lot of texture, like a 1/2 inch would leave. That's too heavy, too much texture, and the glaze will get caught in there and it'll affect the way my finish looks overall. And I use the mohair, just a nicer roller. Tools. Let's start with our black nylon bristle brush because we're using a water-based glaze. And black nylon bristle brush, for me, in my opinion, puts the glaze on a lot nicer and smoother and lets it just flow out versus these synthetic brushes or multi-purpose brushes. This brush, it's all I use for water-based products, and that's all they stay in. I don't switch brushes between oil, water, and all this other stuff. I like them to keep their shape. When you put them in all these other products, start using different things to clean them up with, it loses its shape. Black nylon bristle brush, this one is the Purdy Peacock. Then of course we're going to need our coarse rocker grainer. This is a 4-inch coarse rocker grainer, rubber with the insert. Pretty simple. We will need a duplex graining comb, or sometimes called a graduated graining comb. Duplex, 2 sides. There's your 4-inch side, there's your 3-inch side. The graining coarse rocker grainer is nice if you're just doing 4-inch planks. So let's say I want to do a 6, 8-inch, 12-inch plank, then I would use these in conjunction. There you go. So I can do one way, one the other way for variation. Or if I want to do this like a straight, instead of a heart grain, which is the coarse rocker grain is going to create a heart grain pattern, this can create a straight grain. So let's say I'm doing some moldings. You'll notice the teeth are stepped, skinny to fat, fat to skinny. And that's simply because if I'm doing a panel, and I come down the middle, and I'll show you when I actually do it, then I would go, because this is going to have a wide, well, let's just wait till we get to that point, getting ahead of myself. Okay, we'll need our check roller. You've probably seen these in some of the home improvement stores referred to as a denim tool. Nope, it's a check roller. That's what it was originally designed to be. It was a check roller to create the background pores for some of your wood grain patterns. It was taken over the years and used for other things like denim finishes, but this is a high quality stainless steel. These are not actually mounted on the roller. They spin freely. They have little brass separation rings, so you get and what it is they actually very slightly vary in width to create more of a natural pattern. Less expensive ones, this guy's about $70. The less expensive ones are made from an inferior product, mainly blue steel, and they tend to rust. This one's just stained. It's been used. This one is actually going on 15 years old. Okay. Oops. We're going to use our slotted spalter. Slotted because it has little grooves in it. And that's going to give us some really cool variation. Alright. And to finish off with our good old Badger brush. Silver tip, meaning it's more mature hair. So it's a longer hair, silver tip because it's softer versus a non-silver tip. The bristles are longer, triple row, meaning there's 3 rows of Badger hair stuck into an epoxy down. That's really what you're looking for. Less expensive brushes take younger Badger hair, and younger hair is shorter, and therefore it's going to be stiffer, so it's not going to be able to blend things out nice and soft. And they also press it in metal. When they press it, they put it in a piece of metal like that, staple it, and you get a funky shape like so, versus nice and fat and loose. Okay. let's get ourselves, our glaze, most important thing. I'm going to use my Scumble glaze today. The Scumble glaze is an acrylic glaze, tints with pigment only, never paint, only pigment. Interior, exterior, cleans up with soap and water. And today I've combined a bunch of colors and I've matched it to a color from Sherwin-Williams called Saddle Up. So, let's get our things, let's get started. Taking the black nylon bristle paintbrush, we're going to brush our glaze on. And this glaze goes a long way. See how thick I put it over there so I can move it around? Stretch this all out. Side to side. I want to get a nice even coat all across the entire surface. Top to bottom. And then we're going to finish, pull the excess off, top to bottom, to start to create the fibers of the wood grain, or of the, yeah. Okay, that's that. Now, taking the slotted spalter brush, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come through and just pull down. Oh, yeah, it got a little away from me there. I'm not using a whole lot of pressure. The nice thing is, see, it's a different type of bristle. It's a softer bristle, shorter bristle. So it's going to create a stiffer bristle, creating different fiber patterns. And because of the slots, the glaze gets caught on the bristle, and where there's no bristle, the glaze doesn't get caught, creating darks, lights. So more of a natural effect. Very similar to what you'd see in a real piece of wood. That's the idea. Come back here and clean these lines up. They're a little crooked. All right. Now we're going to do two things. I'm going to show you the coarse rocker grainer for the hard grain. I'm going to show you the duplex graining comb for the ribbon cut. So I'm just going to make some marks so I kind of know where I'm at here. Okay. So when you get started, you want to make sure you have plenty of room to move, because if you get caught somewhere, you're not going to get a good pattern, or you're not going to get a nice fluid motion. And if you stop, you're going to see it. So we're going to put this guy on here with a moderate pressure. I'm just putting my hand here to secure it. And I'm going to come in and rock down, like so. Turn it over, and I want to make sure I don't do the exact same thing again, so I'm going to kind of, there's that. Okay, there's your two. Now I know it's a little thick here, a little thick there. No big deal, we're not done yet. Just relax. Taking my duplex graining comb, now see how I'm actually going to do this two ways so I can show you. If I take and do it the proper way, the wide teeth to thin, just like a real piece of wood would be from the center of the tree as it goes out. As the tree goes, the outer part towards the bark, the grain gets thinner. And we're going to do that right here. Just pull it straight down. Actually, I'm not going to show you the other way because this is perfect. It's going to show you exactly what it should be. If I turned this and did it the other way, thin to thick, wrong, horrible. Don't do that. Okay. Now I'm going to take my check roller. Now, because I have glaze here, I don't need to put glaze here. A lot of times you'll see people painting glaze on this check roller using a brush. Everybody has a different way of doing things. I'm going to use the glaze that's already here because it's going to catch it as it rolls through and redistribute it to where I want it. And the thing about the check roller is make sure that you pull this in the same pattern as your grain is going. Don't go different, or don't make it kind of wonky. Stick with what you got. Alright. There we go. Now, Badger softener. What I'm going to do is I want to soften this a little bit because it's very harsh looking. So I'm going to take and go from the inside of the heart of the grain, and I'm going to pull up. See how it pulls that up, more of a natural look. From here's my heart, I'm going to come down. Yeah, and I'm going to come up from this guy. Don't overdo it. This one's going to come up. Here, this one's going to come down from here, and this guy is going to go up. And then on the ribbon cut, because as the tree grows and the sap, because these lines are harsh. Now oak does have a very hard, distinct pattern, and that's fine, but I want to soften it just a little bit. And that softening would simulate the oak coming up through the center of the tree and over time coming out. So very lightly. And you always hold the badger brush straight, not at an angle. If I hold it at an angle, I'm going to scratch my glaze and leave brush marks. And just lightly come across from the center out. Very, very subtle. Just to diffuse the line, just a tiny, tiny bit. I'm not trying to get crazy. This side, because now I have two planks, I don't want to get too wild here. So from the center out, come out this way. And then I'm going to finish off top to bottom. Okay, there you go. There's your step one, your pattern. Now step two is we need to let this dry, come back and do an overglaze and soften this whole thing. And that'll soften everything, pulling it together. Because right now it's very distinct, very harsh looking. So this needs to dry overnight. We're going to come back tomorrow and do our top coat, our toning layer, and we'll be done. So, see you tomorrow. Okay, so our wood grain pattern has dried overnight. We're going to come back and do a quick toning layer. We're simply going to take the glaze that we used earlier, and I've diluted it about 25% with tap water. And all I'm going to do is take that black nylon bristle brush and go right over top of it. Stretch it all out just like we do before. Okay. I'm going to take my badger brush, stipple it a little bit. I want to break up the brush marks. And then I'm going to soften the whole thing out. I put the overglaze a little thick on this side. That's why I'm going to stipple it, because it'll pull some of that off of there and bring the pattern back. Just soften, soften, soften out. Alright, there we go. We would just let that dry overnight. Come back and put a clear coat on it, depending on where you're going to use it. If you're going to put it on the floor, I'd put about 5 coats of clear coat on top of it so it gets nice and dry, or nice and hard and durable. Cabinetry, a couple coats of polyurethane, you're good. Trim, a couple coats of polyurethane. Not a whole lot to it. You know, and you can always come back and like it's a little light in here, but just add a pinch more color. Just darken that up if I want. But that's pretty much it. That is it. It's not pretty much it. That's it. It's just a nice, simple, easy way to do a, simulated oak wood grain that you can do real quick, real easy, anywhere you choose. All right. My name's Ron Lehman. I'm from the Faux School. I want to thank you for watching. Have a good day.